Welcome back to our next episode of Hot Cocoa and a Christmas Story. It's so good to see you guys here. I want to encourage you to come on into to my studios and enjoy a new story with us. All right, so we're playing with some new toys right now. You'll see outside my window here, it's snowing. It is supposed to be snowing this week, but it hasn't started snowing yet. For my birthday, I got a green screen, which is one of those things that lets me put pictures behind. Oh, my jacket kind of is see-through. I'm a little invisible. I'm a goose. And so we're still trying to work the kinks out of it, but we thought we'd throw it down. This would be a great place for us to try it out. So we're going to tell maybe one of my most unusual Christmas stories, certainly one of my most requested Christmas stories of all time. It's a story, and I know it's going to sound weird, called The Crazy Evil Gingerbread Man. Now, let me tell you a little bit of a story. Okay, so many years ago, back when the whole world was black and white, back before the dawn of time, we were brand new in the ministry. Kim and I had just had our first kid, Ransom, and we had moved to a brand new church, and so Ransom was celebrating. It was actually his second Christmas, but he was 1 year old, so he was like a few months old on his first Christmas, and we moved to this town, and a great man, minister named Jerry Christopher, who was the director of missions for the area that we moved into, was going around and visiting all the pastors, and he was bringing gifts to all of the ministers that had young children, and this was an opportunity, and so he just had this bag full of stuffed animals, and so he shows up at the church, and he's got this bag full of stuffed animals, and he's like, hey, pick one. You can have one. Go give it to your son. Now, I thought this was a great thing, and I looked in the bag, and there was this gingerbread man. All right, it had this cute red hat. It had little peppermint buttons. It was about this big, just this plush gingerbread man, and I was like, that's the one. All right, I did not realize at that time that that as I was digging through that bag of stuffed animals, that I would be digging out the most evil stuffed animal that ever existed in the history of the universe. The stuffed animal became known as the Crazy Evil Gingerbread Man. So it didn't take long for us to figure out there was something a little wonky with this gingerbread man. So go back in your time machine, all right? Some of you that are around my age, you'll remember the whole Tickle Me Elmo thing when it came out. It was maybe one of those very first toy crazes that shut everything down. Nowadays that happens all the time. One person posts on Twitter, hey, you got to get a Hatchimal. Hey, you got to, whatever it is. And everybody goes out and buys that thing. They order it up all on the internet. It is gone. But back in the day, that wasn't really something that happened all the time. But this Tickle Me Elmo was that very first toy that did that. And the next year, there were a whole bunch of people that were like, look, Tickle Me Elmo made, $5 trillion. We're going to catch in on that. And so, the way Tickle Me Elmo works is if, you tickled it in certain places, he would giggle, ha, 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 and he would vibrate, he would, ee, and he would make his laughing thing. Do you like that? You could cut that off and stick it on the TikToks and get that great dancing thing going on. And so a lot of companies started making these kind of, knockoff Tickle Me Elmo things. And this gingerbread man was just like that. This gingerbread man, if you tickled him, and I think it might have just been squeezing his hand or something like that, then he would fill you with Christmas joy. Christmas joy. So I bring him home, and little Ransom is there, 1 year old, and I get the gingerbread. It's like, look what Brother Christopher brought for you, and look, he makes noise, and you clicked his hands, and all of a sudden he did it. The gingerbread man would laugh, ha 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 ha! Happy holidays! Deck the house with my job holidays, and it would scream this message at you. And then it would start giggling like Tickle Me Elmo would, but instead, whatever the motor was that was inside of it, it didn't just go ee, it went. Well, we gave that thing to Ransom one time, and he just starts crying and sobbing, and we traumatized that boy forever because of that crazy evil gingerbread man. It was horrifying, and so whenever we'd get it out, of course, as a good loving father as I am, every time you hit that button, the kid would just run out of the room. It'd be terrified. It's like, look at this gingerbread man. And it didn't stop there, all right? It didn't stop there, all right? All of a sudden that night, we're all in bed, sleeping. Everybody's quiet. The kid's in the bed asleep. And all of a sudden from the other room you hear, "Ah, happy holidays! Back to heaven." Like, what in the world? And then the kid wakes up and the kid starts screaming or going around. Nothing's around. It just decides it wants to start screaming at you at all times of the night. And later on, it wakes up and it screams at us. And I had this deal. You got to understand. I'm a man of ethics, all right? A man of ethics and values. I had made a promise that I would never take the batteries out of my kids' toys, all right? That was a promise I had made because I had a good friend, Jimmy Bible, that would send me loud toys for my kids, and he's like, did your kids enjoy it? I was like, "Nrr." So I would never take the batteries out of the kids' toys, but I made a promise that while I would never take the batteries out of the toys, I would never replace the batteries if I didn't want to replace the batteries. I had no ethical obligation to replace the batteries, but I did have an ethical obligation to leave the batteries in the toys. That toy has tormented our family for 15 years. All right, in our latest move, I'm not exactly sure where it is right now, all right? But wherever it is haunting small children. It is possessed by some sort of Beelzebub out there, and it is traumatizing kids to this very day. So that being said, it was this horrific story that we would tell Christmas in and Christmas out about the crazy evil gingerbread man. And so as we do these narratives, somebody kept saying, well, why don't you tell us the story of the crazy evil gingerbread man? How did he get crazy? Why is he so evil? And so we actually wrote up a narrative, a Christmas story about the crazy evil gingerbread man, and it was so hyped up. The church, we had T-shirts. I don't have mine anymore, all right, but some of you out there that are listening, all right, I want you to take a picture. I know Armstrongs, I've seen your kids wearing some of them. Take a picture of your crazy evil gingerbread man shirt, and we all had these shirts on. It was this huge deal that we publicized this crazy evil gingerbread. I think the shirt said something like, his words say happy holidays, but his laugh says, I hate Christmas. That line might be important because I think it comes up in the narrative somewhere. He's laughing, but it's not like Tickle Me Elmo, all right? So here's the story of the crazy evil gingerbread man. Now, once again, just like last week, this is completely fictitious. This is a made-up story, but if you listen really closely, you will see that it is woven into what is the biblical story. You might say this is a children's way of teaching the story of Herod, who was the ruler of Israel at the time of the birth of Jesus. And so you're going to see a lot of allusions to that. Once again, this is not verse by verse by scriptures. If you want to do that, please go delve back into the stories as it's written in the Gospels and go look at what really is in there. But this will give us a great opportunity to share this Christmas story. All right. So I got to read this. I don't have it memorized. When I do these things, I sometimes spend months getting them ready to go. And by the time I'm done, they're pretty memorized. My printer is loaded with green paper. So this is, if I bend it, you could see the paper there because it's green. It kind of matches with the green screen in the background. All right. So Christmas magic, hi. That's how it's done. Now it's just a green screen back there. All right. So here we go. The crazy evil gingerbread man. You're going to want to like and share this one. All right. Let people know. The land was at peace. It wasn't a peaceful land. It just wasn't at war with anyone. The big salami ruled the whole world, but since he doesn't really come into this story much, just know that he was powerful. But even the powerful big salami couldn't be everywhere in the world. Every region in his kingdom was ruled by some local power. The head cheese ruled out west. The king crab had dominion over the frozen north. In the oceans, there was a one-eyed pirate tuna who guarded the underwater realm. And in a small country in the east, there ruled a gingerbread man. Now, history would later remember him as a little crazy and a lot evil. I'd like to tell you this is one of those Christmas stories where some Scroogey Grinch man sees the light and everyone is happy when he lifts a small child up on his shoulders with a God bless us everyone moment. I would like to. But in this land, the crazy evil gingerbread man does not have a change of heart, and everyone does not leave happy, and he tries to kill a bunch of people. Merry Christmas, everybody! You must know, though, that a lot of people love the Gingerbread Man because in small ways he reminds them of a story told many years ago. Grandmothers would tell their grandchildren from one generation to the next one that one day a star named Christmas would arrive and he would cause the world to celebrate, and he would know where to find the key to a new land of marvel and joy. It is also believed that Christmas, the star, would be so powerful that he would wage war against evil, restore sanity, and rule in a just and unending reign. Crazy Evil Gingerbread Man hates Christmas. Though he hates Christmas, he also respects the old story and fears that they may one day come true. So, Crazy Evil Gingerbread Man set out to make himself the next best thing to Christmas. Maybe even better. He built gingerbread houses and gingerbread schools. He had a state-of-the-art gingerbread airport built, and at this exact moment, he was having an Uber Bowl party in the Gingerbread Palace, watching two teams he cared nothing about battling it out for the World Championship inside his newly built $1.7 billion Ginger World. "You really did find the key to Marvel Land," came a voice. "The parties, the stadiums, the food, it's all too good. It's really like Christmas is here every day." Another voice screamed, "How do you think a screen that big got into the stadium, man? That thing shines brighter than the stars." Laughed Crazy Evil Gingerbread Man. "It's not bad, is it? I think Uber Bowl Sunday should be its own holiday. And since I'm king, happy holiday!" Crazy Evil Gingerbread Man's words often said happy holidays, but his laugh said, "Let's destroy Christmas." He believed that the old stories could never be fulfilled if there were no days left on the calendar for Christmas, so he filled up every day he could with parties and celebrations and new holidays. There was Slow Day to celebrate the snail, Crazy Hat Day where people wore the craziest hats, and Crazy Hats Eve where crazy shoes had become a fad. There were the regular holidays like Jelloween and the 4th of Juletember and Bastille Day. Nearly every day was full. However, there was one day, just over a week ago, that did not have a holiday. But since the big salami, I told you he wouldn't show up in this story much, this is it. Said that he was going to be taking attendance on that day, everyone had to go home and get counted so the big salami would know how many people he was ruling. The Crazy Evil Gingerbread Man made a note to make sure he found a holiday for December 25th next year. Now was not the time. It was halftime at the Uber Bowl, and Crazy Evil Gingerbread Man was going to dance. Now, you or I might not call it dancing. It seemed to be more like a full-body dry heave, an uncontrolled seizure that would shake the very ground next to Crazy Evil Gingerbread Man. He would dance, and then he would sing, and then he would do it all over again. It was harder to get into one of Crazy Evil Gingerbread Man's Uber Bowl parties than it was to get into the Uber Bowl itself. The halftime karaoke was always a highlight. This day was no exception. "I've been working on a new dance. We're going to have to move some furniture. A lot of furniture." Crazy Evil Gingerbread Man jiggled and giggled, and he stretched his muscles getting ready for his new song and dance. But just as he said the words, "Hit it!" the door to the party room flew open, and in stepped the butler, followed by 7 of the oddest cookies that you've ever seen. "Sir, these are wise strawmaners from yon Farlin, and they have been traveling for nearly 2 weeks just to get here." "I don't recall inviting them to the party," Crazy Evil Gingerbread Man said with a glare. No, wise sir. We have come because we wish to see the gingerbread man who rules the land where the new star has been seen overhead. I am the gingerbread man, ruler of the... Wait! What did you say about a new star? The crowds began murmuring among themselves. A new star? Could it be Christmas, the star? The wise astronomers continued, We see new stars every day. They show up when and where they're supposed to show up. But this star was different. We do not understand how it could appear without it fitting into all of our calculations and our charts. It makes no sense, but we thought that if we could talk to the stars of your land, they might help us in our quest to find this new star. Crazy Evil Gingerbread Man was nervous. He had tried so hard to prevent Christmas from coming. He hated Christmas so much. He had to know more about the wise astronomers and what they knew about this star. Ryan! Oh, Ryan! Someone get me Ryan the star! He was here not too long ago. Check the buffet! Ryan was, in fact, a special advisor to Crazy Evil Gingerbread Man, and a star. He was deep in counsel with the mad ruler, and had been prepared for some time just for this day. No man, cookie, or star knew more of the stories about the star named Christmas than Ryan. No one in the kingdom. You called me, O great gingerbread man? He bowed a knowing bow and nodded ever so slightly. He knew what to do. These men have seen a star, and they do not have the ability to know where it came from. You know all of our stars. Perhaps you can listen to their stories and help them figure out this mystery. I would be honored. As you know, we wise astronomers watch the stars, the strange cookies began. The constellations spin their paths across the night sky. Old stars retire and fall. New stars burst into brilliant view like a well-choreographed dance. But something changed. There was a member of the dance. No, one that was not counted on. You would think, like a town's misfit wandering onto the stage, that it would throw off the celestial order, rhythm, and motions. But it did not. The new star made the movements different, but better. Like a master performer perfectly weaving his solo in and out of the waves of the other dancers. We left immediately and watched this dance continue every night during our 12 days' journey to your country. We just wanted to know more about the star that appeared the 25th day of the month of December. Crazy Evil Gingerbread Man laughed. December 25th, you say? How improbable is this? So, Ryan, what have you to say about this star? Crazy Evil Gingerbread Man began to shake as he glared at his advisor. As you know, sir, I've been out of the sky for quite some time. I have, in fact, not been watching. The insane ruler vibrated more ferociously. There had been, so many new stars in the last few years. I think we can be certain that this one star that fits all the stories of Christmas, it must be the Star of Legends. Fa la 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 la! Happy holidays! Crazy Evil Gingerbread Man vibrated with the intensity of a small earthquake. Things began to fall from the walls and glasses shattered. A large crack crept up the wall. I'm shaking all over with excitement, he proclaimed. But he was not excited. He was enraged and terrified. And though he was crazy, he was not without his wits. And a plan formed so quickly in his head that the strange visitors from yon Farland might believe that these words actually came from his heart. You wise astronomers must go and find me, and find this young star. You have my blessings, and when you find him, return here and tell me where I might find the star Christmas, so I might proclaim him a new holiday, a day of rejoicing. I would like to proclaim December 25th as Christmas Day. The people shouted and cheered. Could it be true that the stories were going to be fulfilled now? This very day, Christmas the star had finally come to bring peace, destroy evil, and open the gate to the land of marvel and joy. Crazy Evil Gingerbread Man sent servants to provide the wise strawmoners with every supply they might need, then retired to his chambers. His closest advisers gathered the next morning. "Christmas star, how exciting!" chimed in an old Granny Smith, the apple who was the education adviser. "All the children will be so happy." "Gods, throw the apple to the polar bears." There was shock and much protest and some crying. "Anybody else excited about Christmas?" There was silence. "Good. Now each and every one of you knows that Christmas has come to destroy evil and set up a peaceful kingdom. Then the stories have declared war on me. What can we do to stop Christmas?" "You're crazy if you think you can change the stories," proclaimed Ryan, who realized his poor choice of words a little too late. "Crazy? You think I'm crazy? Would a crazy man have his number one advisor thrown to the polar bears?" Crazy Evil Gingerbread Man began to shake. "No, sir, he would not." "You're right. Happy holidays, Ryan. Gods, throw him to the Gila monster. For the rest of you know that the wise strawmoners have left with my blessings, with orders to return. As soon as they return, you will go to the star and you'll kill it. I am Crazy Evil Gingerbread Man, and Crazy Evil Gingerbread Man hates Christmas. Ha ha ha! Happy holidays!" The wise strawmoners did indeed find the new star shining brightly in the sky. The tale of his appearance was marvelous and inspiring. Messengers from the land of marvel and joy had visited a pair of stars and instructed them about the soon-to-come miraculous appearance of a new star. They were given instructions to raise it as their own, for it would indeed be a real star, with every weakness and emotion and need as any other. But it was also the star of creation from the beginning of time, though he would not realize this until he became full grown. And they were to name the new star Christmas, and the wise strawmoners gave gifts to the young star, as a group of dolphins who had been working late that night came with stories of messengers from the land of marvel and joy who told of Christmas the star rising in the sky. And the smallest of the dolphins played a tune on his little bongo, and every Christmas people still sing the song of the little drummer dolphin. And that night the wise strawmoners were awakened from their sleep by the messenger from the land of marvel and joy. "Wise strawmoners, do not trust the gingerbread man, for he is evil and has gone mad. Instead, return to your land by another route, and do not tell him where he can find Christmas. Go now in peace." And that's exactly what they did. It had been some time, and the wise strawmoners had not returned to the gingerbread palace as ordered. Rumors were soon confirmed that they were seen leaving the country by a different road and were long since gone. The resulting seismic shock of Crazy Evil Gingerbread Man's shaking was so great it knocked down half the palace, blew a hole in the wall around the city, and grounded flights from the gingerbread airport for weeks. "All I wanted was to be obeyed. My kingdom is perfect." He stormed out of the front of the palace, heading toward the military headquarters. "I saw a group of children along the road." He bent down to talk to them. "I made this palace a marvel land. I built Ginger World. And think of all of our celebrations, kiddos. Ha 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 ha! Happy holidays!" And the children all began to cry. "The gingerbread man scared me." However, Crazy Evil Gingerbread Man was already walking off and did not hear the children complain. Meanwhile, at the military compound, a war room meeting was getting underway. "Can anyone tell me which star is Christmas?" There was silence. "Can anyone read these charts?" The latest satellite images were placed on the wall next to the charts. From 2 years ago, hundreds of new stars were circled in red ink. Ryan knew, but you threw him to the Gila monster. Then we take 'em all out. Every new star in the last 2 years, I want gone, dead, stuffed out. There's no other mission. We do this now. Happy holidays to me. And with ruthless precision, Crazy Evil Gingerbread Man had his entire army taking out every new star and anything that stood in their way. And even those closest to him now realized that his words say happy holiday, but his laughs say, let's destroy Christmas. Now, do not worry too much for Christmas. The messenger from the land of marvel and joy returned shortly after the wise astronomers left and warned Christmas and his adopted parents of Crazy Evil Gingerbread Man's plan to destroy Christmas. Disguising themselves as mylar balloons, the three sneaked out of the country where they waited in fear and anticipation. But Crazy Evil Gingerbread Man would not live forever. As is often the case, crazy and evil rulers surround themselves with others who are of like mind, and in a few short years, Crazy Evil Gingerbread Man would himself be killed, making it safe for Christmas to return. And though many, many people rejected Christmas, for those who would trust him and believe they would be shown the path to and gain interest to, for those who would trust in him and believe they would be shown the path to and gain entrance through the gates of the land of marvel and joy. You know, you should go back and read the Christmas story and see all of the hardships that Mary and Joseph and Jesus had to go through in those early years because of an evil ruler like Herod. But also notice all along the way that God had a plan. He put wise men to come and proclaim and shepherds in the fields. And all along, he continued to send his messengers, the Greek word, angels, in order to guide and lead his people on that path. And today, God is still moving. God is still working. And there's still crazy, evil gingerbread men out there. But God's messengers are still at work. And you know what? You and I have a chance to be messengers of God, not heavenly angels, but to be people that today proclaim that on Christmas Day, a child was born that would lead us to the path of everlasting life, a realm of marvel and joy where we can be at heaven with our Savior and our Lord, Jesus Christ. God bless you all. Thank you so much for being a part of this episode of Hot Cocoa and a Christmas Story. I want to encourage you to continue to watch it, like it, share it. Let your friends know, hey, this is a great story. Listen to it. Let's let this thing go viral. Let's see how many people we can get to share this story. And then come this Sunday at church, we're going to be talking about Handel's Messiah. Hallelujah. It'll be great. Look forward to seeing you guys there. God bless you all. Bye.